Okay, guys. All right. Um. So today, I guess this was today. Um, I read this. I don't know, 12 in the afternoon. I don't know, something like that. And I was just going over some of these posts and just seeing what was up. And I thought I really need to make a video about this because I need to know what you think because I'm going to read this to you and I'm going to tell you what I think. Now, first and foremost, I heard earlier in the week that that there were a group of people within, the administration. This Susie Wiles, keep your eye on her if you can. She stays low in the weeds, man. And all I can say is it's like her chief of staff, his chief of staff, right? I believe. And she's this old woman. I'm not quite sure how old she is. Probably a boomer age, and that's from 47 to 64. I think there's a huge gap in what was going on in 47 and what was going on in 64. Um, my point is that it was either just a few years ago that she was in Israel running Netan's, well, his real name is Milikowski, Mileikowski. He is a Polish man, um, I believe, and he changed his name, to fit in and all that shit, as many of these people do, and she's running that campaign that has a huge lobby and influence over every single one of our members of Congress and Senate. And I'm sure other places too within the government system. And okay. So I think that's dangerous. I don't see that as a positive. I see that as, oh my God, you're kidding. Where do your loyalties lie? You work to get one man elected who comes here asking for money all the time, even though it is a very teeny country, but is very wealthy and it has free everything for everyone. Not that I believe in communism or socialism, but that's the way it is there. And then they're genociding the people that they stole the land from. Yikes. And she is the person that allows Trump to get information and what that information is. Very dangerous. Really fucked up. He he's governing the country right now via a shitty app that no one goes on, that I believe he has part ownership in, called Truth Social. I hate it. Can you imagine being forced? Well, it's just sort of like Obamacare. You're forced to do something to pay someone that's involved in the government. In order to know what your president is saying, you have to go to his private company and his private app to find out so that he can get revenue dollars. That is weird. I'm just laying it out there, guys. We're entering a time right now where people just, they don't know. No, I want you to think about it. Okay, here we go. This is what he said. And I'm going to give you my take. And maybe I changed it since this morning. It is very important that again, I don't know who the fuck writes this shit. Drug companies. You know what? I'm going to try to not criticize the grammar, spelling, and capitalization errors that are all over the place. I don't know who in God's name is writing these. They're in the style of someone who is stupid. Okay. It is very important that the drug companies justify, come on, justify the success of their various COVID drugs. Again, capitalized. Weird. Many people think that they are a miracle. Okay, many people think that they are a miracle. Specify they. You know you wouldn't do that in a real estate contract, Donald. I took courses for 2 years while I was working. Think they. What are you referring to? Yeah, I know. I know. But in a legal contract, that wouldn't fly. Actually, and technically. Many people think I'm assuming COVID drugs, as he says, various COVID drugs. Now, what the fuck does that mean? The shit they give you in the hospital? Hydroxychloroquine, ivermectin, quercetin. Well, that's a supplement. IV vitamin C, IV vitamin A, IV vitamin D. Or are you thinking more in terms of remdesivir? Are you thinking more in terms of the various types of steroid drugs given for breathing? Are you thinking of Z-Pak, azithromycin? What are you thinking of? What? This is what I'm saying. It's very vague. It's not exact. And someone that is experienced in writing real estate contract would not write it like that. I know I'm being overboard. I know I am. But this is the president of the United States who behaves as though he is in 7th grade, perhaps 5th grade, circa 2025. So I'm not sure which drugs are you talking about. The Vaselines? Because they're not necessarily drugs. You see what I'm saying? This is really fucked up. He's fucked up. Many people think they are a miracle that saved millions of lives. Capitalizing millions again, which is not appropriate. Period. But what drug are you thinking of? I mean, like I said, are you thinking of ivermectin? With CDC being ripped apart over this question. So for me, I take that as he's pissed off that someone got fired. They're not doing double-blind, multi-center, placebo-controlled studies, okay? They're not doing gold standard studies. I had an argument with my mom's doctor on this. I knew I was right. He tried to, and then he threw, I'm a trained oncologist on me. And I'm like, so what? Because I said to him, I said, human studies, human trials have not been done on those drugs. Well, it's different. Well, I said, yeah, it's because it's under emergency use authorization. But that proves my point. Human trials were never done. Well, that's different. I said, no, it's not different, because I wanted him to try these various drugs on my mother, i.e. the ivermectin and interferon. And he refused to do it. He said, I don't even know where I get that. I said, oh, come on, give me a break. You've got a huge lab setting up in Madison. I don't think so. Because that's where his shit was being shipped from, the Madison University of Wisconsin. I tell you, that woman went through the ringer with those doctors. But she thought, hang on, I'm pouring water from the tap. I know. She thought that he was God. Ended up giving her tumor lysis syndrome, and she had cancerous tumors all over almost every single organ of her body. Still waiting for final results. So the CDC, somebody was fired, and this chick is challenging herself being fired. I mean, I believe that if the administration comes in and you've got, director of Health and Human Services that says bye-bye, or what isn't Bobby H? Yes. And then you say, well, no, I'm not going anywhere because pharma is paying her to do it. I mean, we never had ads on TV here until Bill fucking Clinton and Hillary. The lovely, wonderful couple that wreaked havoc all over this country for 8 years. The last 4 years of his second term, his main chief advisor was Cindy Effin Blumenthal, who's the father of Max Effin Blumenthal. And people, Max Blumenthal, so the gray zone. Yeah, it is the gray zone. It's a gray zone for me, man. A ginger Jew. I'll turn that off any day of the week. I'm sorry. Uh-oh. I'm just kidding. I am just kidding. I want the answer. And I want it now! I'm reading it as he's writing it. Wait. Others disagree! Exclamation point. They're putting Bobby Kennedy on the chopping block. Fuck you, Donald Trump. I'm sorry. Now I have been shown information from Pfizer, and others. Who are the others? Again, a man that writes real estate contracts is not going to. I mean, this is what I'm saying. Like, here's an example. In an addendum to a real estate contract, after an inspection's been done and it shows that parts of the roof are faulty in one corner of the house. Flashing shall be changed in roof. Now, according to the legal course I took, and the tapes I listened to and all the bullshit, not to mention the 4-hour test I took, that I passed right away. What is wrong with that sentence? Roof shall be repaired. Faulty pieces of roof shall be repaired. That could mean 10 years from the date of that addendum, technically. You want to have an exact date and time. So if the closing is on the 15th, shall be completed by noon, by 12 o'clock noon on September 14th, 2025. So that you can have an inspector run out, make sure the correction's done properly, and it's ready and it's complete by the time the project closes. Or I'd put it in sooner than that. I would do maybe 2 weeks before closing. See how that works? Unless it's being sold as is, and then you just have to take it. Am I making sense? I mean, yeah, I mean, this is coming from a real estate guy, right? Oh my God. I tell you, I get stressed out by this shit. I mean, I had everything worded so perfectly for this contract I did a couple of years back that the the other agent got so by like 2 days before closing, she didn't even show up. She said, "You know what, Colleen? I never even would have given you the bid. I had two other offers. Yours was the highest. You know." She said, "I never ever would have taken your offer had I known all this would have happened because I had specific things that needed to be finished before we could close, and I had specific dates and times." And she was just like, "Yeah, that sounds fine. We can do that." Uh-oh. Not as easy as you thought, was it? And when she said that to me, I didn't say anything because I said to myself, I gotcha. Because her father owned the firm that he ran, and all of his kids then ran the firm as agents, were his agents. I think he had died or something. And then they took over. And they knew to watch out for me. Yeah. I'm just saying. This doesn't, and then being in the medical industry and working with physicians, sentences like this are bullshit. This guy's off his rocker. It shows, I don't know who wrote this or why, but it shows such a lack of intellectual thought. I want the answer and I want it now. So, in other words, the drug companies say that they have success with drugs. Which drug companies and which drugs? The ones that were given to people that were diagnosed with COVID to make it go away, or the ones that were pushing a gene therapy? With the CDC, it's okay for the CDC to be ripped apart. It's healthy. It's healthy uh, intellectually, scientifically, emotionally, because we have a lot of sick people out there with a lot of side effects, neurological side effects. I have a friend whose daughter-in-law did the booster about a year ago to the day, really, who three and then did four others with it, but wasn't sure what they were. Who would not be sure what the hell they were taking? She was a liberal school teacher pulling a Tim Waltz to go over to China. And she had to have this exam and all this shit shot up her. She was on the floor within 3 days, and now she has myasthenia gravis and she can't do anything. She basically walks up and down one flight of steps a day and goes back to bed. Can't breathe, spent months in the hospital. I haven't talked to her for a while because oh, frankly, she got me sick with some of the shit she took, and I honestly thought I was having a stroke. I never had a headache like that in my whole life. All right, well, done with that. This is what I'm saying. So you're hearing that from me, Trump. I've been shown information from Pfizer. What kind of information? A flyer, a brochure, a drug ad, numbers? What kind of numbers? The numbers that a drug company is going to show you are going to be positive, and they're going to be massaged. Do you think a drug company is going to say, "Hey, Mr. President, Here, I'm sorry, we had a whole bunch of adverse events and I'm going to show you what they were, he'd be like, oh my God, we've got to pull this shit off the market. Ugh. That is, oh, and others, that is extraordinary. What is extraordinary? What do you mean it's extraordinary? Extraordinary in a good way? Extraordinary in a bad way? Extraordinary that people take the shit and faint? Extraordinary that things like myocarditis and things like this have increased in young men that want to play sports? Extraordinary that regular professional athletes have fallen down? Extraordinary that people were forced against their will to do something they didn't want to do? What do you mean? I mean, all I can say is a drug company is not going to put out numbers that are negative or information. We don't know what that information is. And others, who are the other people? Is it a lay person? Is it someone playing around with their computer with the program? What is it? They never seem to show those results to the public. Who is they and what are the results? Why not? They go off to the next hunt and let everyone rip themselves apart, including Bobby Kennedy Jr. and CDC. What is the next hunt? What does that mean? Hunting what? Data is data. Trying to figure out the success or failure of the, again, he missed drug companies, COVID work. I know I'm probably annoying the fuck out of anyone that's watching this. They show me great numbers and results, but they don't seem to be showing them to many others. Oh. So what he's saying is Pfizer's coming to you saying, this is how great this is, Donald Trump. And when you, Bobby Kennedy, is trying to tell us it's not. No, he wants to fire our CDC director. We're not having it. I want them to show them no to CDC and then the public. You think the CDC doesn't have drug company results for a product that was given emergency use authorization, which is given strictly from the CDC and the government? I mean, oh my God. Didn't you think to, okay, here's the deal. You have placebo, you have the people in the control group, right? People that are really taking it, people that think they're taking it, but neither knows. That's double blind. Nobody knows who's getting anything, who's getting it. And it's kind of what happened, if you want my opinion. So the control group doesn't know if they're getting the real drug or the placebo. The placebo group doesn't know if it's getting the placebo or the real drug. And then you have to do a huge cross section going through various countries, various age groups, various demographic groups. And then you have to do a huge database on it. That can take years. I don't think Trump even has the mental capacity to even focus on this. He would have to learn from the bottom up how this works. I have worked on a study for a product doing this so that it could get approval for well, it was called CMS then, so that it could get a code to be covered under Medicare and then potentially Medicaid. In the meantime, it was my job to convince insurance companies to provide it to the patient anyway, despite the fact that Medicare would not cover it. So we actually did get many, many insurance companies before they went, um, you know, into Obamacare bullshit, which basically is government-run healthcare. It was private. Everything was. I could begin ticking off the companies. I don't think it would mean anything to anyone. I mean, United Healthcare here in Wisconsin was one of them. Blue Cross Blue Shield was another. We had a couple of private companies out in Madison. Actually, 3 that I got convinced. I mean, I spent a lot of time on this, but I worked with a woman. She was an RN. She was out in California, and I would have her begin the process of interacting with the people there. And then I would have her come out and we would do a meeting with all the nurse case managers. And then we would set protocol for these. I know how this shit works. It took me, well, it didn't take me very long to figure it out, because it's, well, I don't know. He doesn't have the aptitude for this. It made sense to me. It took about 6 months for me to really kind of work through it. Well, actually more like 4. I'm not kidding. It didn't take me long. Because I knew that I could do it, that I knew I could get the job done. I knew I could, if I provided the proper information, I could convince people that it was a safe situation, but it was not a drug. I do not sell drug, but it's essentially the same thing. We put together huge databases. We would present them. They were considered classified information, or not classified, sort of, I guess. I don't know. So he's saying Pfizer's showing me great stuff, but they're not showing it to anybody else. You think Bobby Kennedy doesn't have access to all this shit? He's been right. He's written books on it. I would actually be insulted, offended, and be very stressed out if I was Kennedy. But for some reason, Kennedy has focus and he has knowledge that I believe that this does not stress him out. But this is incoherent garble for me. It's incoherent. So now he wants Pfizer to show the great numbers to everyone. But everyone knows different. And I know people are going to come here and say, well, okay, so that's fine. I'm glad nothing happened to you. You were sick for a couple of days, though, right? Why would you take something if you weren't sick that makes you sick, thinking that you're never going to get sick? And then you did get sick. On something that's just a computer model anyway. That it's never been... Okay. You think that the CDC is not showing Kennedy the great numbers? But then again, you have to go in there. What numbers are you talking about? I mean, I don't know what the man is talking about. I think he's off his fucking rocker. They don't see. I'm going to go through this. They don't seem to be showing them to many others. I want them to show them now to CDC and the public and clear up this mess one way or another. Exclamation point, exclamation point, exclamation point. I hope I hope Operation Warp Speed was as brilliant as many say it was. Well, hope is not science, babe. If not, we all want to know about it and why. Why? That's the 3 question marks. Then he says, thank you for your attention to this very important matter, President DJT. Well, this is insane. Let's get out of it. And then we go over to Jones. Oh my God. I don't know even what that is, you guys. I pull up a lot of stuff. Okay. Then we have this. I don't know. Hopefully we can hear this. So then here's Jones, who is only 50 years old, but looks about 80 himself.
All right, as most of you know.
Okay, that's way too low. That's not going to fly. Let's do this. Let's turn. Oh, I have it on 520. Let's go like that. I apologize for this. I thought I had it keyed up. Okay. Here we go.
All right, as most of you know, Trump came out this morning on Truth Social and said, I want an investigation of Pfizer, of Moderna. I want an
When did he say that? Did I miss that?
Investigation of the CDC covering up the real vaccine data.
I didn't get that. Did you guys take that away? Okay, let's do it one more time. You guys tell me what you think.
You know, Trump came out this morning on Truth Social and said, I want an investigation of Pfizer, of Moderna. I want an investigation of the CDC covering up the real vaccine data.
No, he said Pfizer showed him really good numbers. And why isn't Pfizer showing that the really great numbers to the public?
Well, we already know they faked the trials and never even had real trials. That's already come out in court. We already know for the insurance actuaries, massive deaths have increased. We know 3 months before they rolled it out, the FDA put out a guidance publicly saying these are the adverse reactions that we think are going to happen: heart attacks, myocarditis.
I never saw that. That was afterwards.
Blood clots, infertility, turbo cancers, over 76.
They didn't know that. Look at this guy. He is nuts.
Things. But for Trump, he just had them all advising him and showing him totally safe, sir. We tested it and, all the rest of it.
But that's what no, they didn't say that. They said it was safe and effective. Again, I spoke to doctors. No human trials have not been done, but there's an emergency use authorization. Therefore, it is safe and effective. They were told to say that, or they lost their jobs. They didn't say, yeah, we tested it on humans. Yeah, you might get a turbo cancer. You might get a heart problem. If people knew that, they wouldn't be doing it, man. They knew that about a year after this shit comes out. How many accounts were lost on X? I lost like 15 accounts on X. Well, actually, probably about 10 that are locked out. I don't know how I even got back into this one.
So now Kennedy's gotten in there, and you saw over a week ago he fired the head of the CDC because she'd been hiding data and lying and reportedly falsifying it. Well, then this week.
Well, it seems to me that Trump said, well, I'm seeing numbers, everything that's really good, and I sure as heck hope this is everything that I said it was, because my Operation Warp Speed was fucking kick-ass great. With all kinds of exclamation points and capitalization. I mean, who is buying this crap? And Nixon got driven out of office. No, he was not impeached. He was driven out of office for some bullshit frame up. All right, let's put it back a little bit here. Just tell me what you think, guys, because I don't know what the fuck to think about this shit. He's in some parking garage somewhere. You know, he says he's broke as fuck, but he seems to take his family on some big outing. He's a huge guy. He eats like a pig, yet he says he's got all these supplements that make him super healthy, and he lost 70 pounds in the last year. I don't know. Your neck tells me something else.
So now Kennedy's gotten in there, and you saw over a week ago he fired the head of the CDC because she'd been hiding data and lying and reportedly falsifying it. Well, then this week she refused to go, like all these other.
How can you be fired and refuse to go unless you're being told to do that and instructed to do that and given huge fucking amounts of money to cover your lifestyle? I mean, you think the head of the CDC makes $50,000 a year? Should make $50,000 a year. Perhaps still being the Centers for Disease Control. I mean, they don't control shit. It should be the Center for Death Control. We decide if you live or die.
All these other people. So now that's turning into a big court battle, but she'll lose. So when I came out and pointed out this.
Will she lose, Alex? You crazy lunatic. God, look at this guy. Can you imagine being in bed with him? Holy shit, my God. Even being in the same house. Ugh. Wow. Whew. I'm having fun.
Point out this is a big deal for Trump to be coming out against Warp Speed. People are like, well, he's just saying he'll investigate.
He didn't come out against Warp Speed. He said, I believe it's a great success, and I'm a fucking kick-ass dude for doing it. Even though, let's lay the cards on the table, the first shots were done in December of 2019, and he left office in January of 2020. So really, essentially, not many people were getting this. It wasn't really even available. People were being killed. Am I allowed to even say this shit?
We'll investigate.
Oh,
we've already done.
Again, as my mom's doctor said, it's safe and effective.
On the investigation, we know.
If it was safe and it was good, they just took the emergency use authorization off, like within the last couple weeks. It's been 5 years.
We already knew when he wrote The Real Anthony Fauci 2-3 years ago. I already knew all the info in it, so I didn't know how great the book was, but it was a great compendium of it all. Total proof of premeditated creation, release, depopulation, get filthy rich, bring in world government, bring in social credit scores. So Trump didn't have all this information. Now that
this guy can barely breathe, but he claims that you should take his methylene blue because you'll be healthier than fuck.
He's bringing it to him. He's going, whoa, and he's going, well, then I guess they lied to me, and I guess Warp Speed was bullcrap. Which we already knew they did because I was tracking it back at the time. Remember, they were all saying safe and effective, totally tested.
They didn't say totally tested, though. Believe me, I had no problem going up against my mom's oncologist on this. None at all. Because I know how to word things to these assholes. Honestly, I think they're all just fucking afraid of me half the time.
You can't get COVID. You can't spread COVID, 99% sure. Then it was 78 and 64 and then 52 and then 49. And now you're 3 times more likely to get COVID if you've taken the COVID shot, and it erases your immune system. It's all out there. It was a plan. It was a national initiative of Obama to create an airborne SARS, 2014-15. Chapel, North Carolina was a big
Oh, I do remember that.
Obama to create an airborne SARS, 2014-15. Chapel, North Carolina was a big scandal. So they moved it when scientists blew the whistle to Wuhan. Wasn't a Chi-Com operation.
Yeah, I got to tell you, in 2017, I think it was maybe March, I got pneumonia and took a Z-Pack, codeine cough syrup. It was fine within about 2-3 days. I went to, well, she's no longer in practice after this shit started. I don't know what happened to her. I don't even know if she's still alive or she just decided no, she didn't want to be a part of this shit. Because I've been looking for her. Because they always say, who's your primary care? Well, she's gone. I had, I'm not going to say her name, but I thought she was pretty good. Oh, we got into it. I would bring my Chromebook in there and I would challenge her on everything. They hate me. The 1 or 2 times a year I went in there, she was just like, I think in a way they kind of enjoy it in a slight way. Some of them do because, you know, it's interesting. They're like, yeah, give her an extra 20 minutes. She's fun. Not the average idiot that walks through the door. I have one doctor that I am required to see twice a year, my neurologist. She makes the girls book out 1 hour for me. 1 hour. I didn't realize that until she said, well, no, we can't do it that day because we're supposed to book an hour for you. Because I'm constantly challenging stuff. And it's like, well, I mean, she's going to keep me in here engaged anyway, so might as well just book an hour out for this stupid chick. All right. You know, I got way off track here. I hate it when I do that. All right.
It was a national initiative of Obama to create an airborne SARS, 2014-15.
Oh, yeah. What I wanted to say is we'll just look at Alex looking stupid. Hang on.
Carolina was a big scandal. So they moved it when scientists blew the whistle to Wuhan. Wasn't a Chi-Com operation. They moved it there so they could blame the Chi-Coms.
Chi-Coms. You know, we're trying to open up relations with these countries. He calls them the Chi-Coms. Wow. I was saying I was very stressed out. I was not sleeping. Suddenly I got this cough. I moved into a new place. Got a terrible cough. It got worse. I never stopped coughing. I just coughed all the time. And I had to put, like, if I went into, like, well, I went to an emergency room. And because I just couldn't stop. And I believe I was coughing shit up. And so I remember I was waiting in this ER and they weren't taking me because most of the ERs here, even though people don't realize it, we're number 5 out of 10 in cities, the highest in crime in the United States, a country of about 380 million people. So anything that had to do with a gunshot wound or a stabbing, I was watching them come one right after the other. I mean, that's why I don't even go to ERs anymore. What's the point? Unless I'm dying, then they'll take me. And I mean, I just went into the toilet area and grabbed a big, huge stack of hand towels, and I just grabbed a wastebasket and I just sat there and just. And at first, people were sitting next to me, and then I'd start up again. And then next thing I know, I looked, and the whole entire place had moved to the other side of the room and crouched together so they could be the hell away from me. That's how bad it was. I just had bronchitis that turned into a slight case of pneumonia because of stress issues, of not sleeping, and of obviously running myself down and picking up a bug somewhere along the line of some type. I didn't have someone sticking shit up my. I mean, it's just that's what I had. It happens. People get this shit. All right.
So that's the reality, ladies and gentlemen.
What's the
Yeah, it was
reality?
lab made, and it was made in North Carolina, in association with the University of Texas, Galveston, and a few other universities. It's all out there. It's all known. Dr. Francis Boyle, the guy that wrote the U.S. Biological Chemical Weapons Law, top international lawyer and expert on it, top Hague war crimes prosecutor. He knew all of it in January and February of 2020. Those interviews are more important today than they were 5 years ago.
Yeah, I mean, I listened to his interviews, and he was talking about. You know what? I can't talk about this on YouTube.
Watch them.
No, I don't want to
So
watch him.
that's why
I
this is a
don't
big
like
deal.
the
Trump's
guy.
admitting he was had. He's admitting he got set up.
He's-
Even if you think Trump's evil and was in on it, which clearly he wasn't, it doesn't matter. The big story is it's coming out. He wouldn't be doing that if he didn't know it was coming out. And if Kennedy hadn't done his damn job, which he's done. So people say, there'll never be indictments. I'll give up. Fine. There'll never be indictments, okay? But we're going to indict Fauci and Bill Gates' Court of Public Opinion. Their companies are going to get their asses sued off. Their liability shields being pulled. Their emergency authorization's been pulled. And we're going to warn the whole public so they can't launch another pandemic and bring in their world government. But of course, they are going to get indicted. Definitely Fauci. So, but just this whole thing of, well, Trump's in there. So.
Ain't gonna happen, Alex. I've been waiting for the indictments. Every fucking day, according to Alex, there is a new indictment.
He'll never do it, so screw it, and it's all over. That's a cop-out and a globalist psyop. We are in the information war. We are winning, and that's why you got...
You are so full of shit, because what you're doing right now is covering for Trump's bullshit.
Less than 4% taking the damn boosters that have now been basically banned. Keep fighting,
No, they
keep
haven't
moving.
been banned.
This is a big, big deal. Kennedy has the goods, because we knew we already had them. And he said that.
Yeah, okay, so a lot of people have the goods, Jones. A lot of people. And you get, well, who does? A lot of different people. Let's not forget what happened to Kennedy's uncle and dad. Not to mention JFK Jr., which I think was a flat out fucking murder. Someone who's that strict of a Catholic, I'm sorry. I know you guys could differ with me. It's one thing to be cremated. It's another thing to have your ashes scattered. It is against the Catholic faith to scatter ashes into an ocean. And no, he's still not alive. Where's sweet Melissa? That JFK Jr. is coming back as Trump's running mate. Hillary wanted that seat, and I had all that shit lined up. I had about 20 videos ready to go, and that's when YouTube was bought up by Google and Susan Wojcicki, who's now dead also, I might add. Damn, does time fly or what, kids? Holy fucking shit. Well, I guess it doesn't matter. What I'm saying is, okay. I don't know. Let's just I don't know what Alex is saying. It doesn't correlate with what I read.
Said they have him. And he fired this woman and she won't leave. Great, it's a bigger fiasco. She'll be
Well, why
exposed.
though?
This is huge. But I kind of lost the forest for the trees in my first videos. I'm like, they have the evidence, the fraud, that it doesn't work and it's dangerous. And I should have just added, oh, by the way, Trump's pointing out what came out years ago, but it's now official because they're inside the HHS and CDC and NIH.
What?
And that's that they didn't do any of the trials, folks. They didn't do anything real.
Yeah, I know.
Now, once they rolled out the shots, they did some little limit.
Trump just said in a post on Truth Social that they did, and they're great.
Ones, and when people died from it, they covered those up. Those are lawsuits Kennedy and the Dell Big Tree and Highwire filed 4 years ago.
Yeah, Dell was posting at your site, and he was going to use your site as a means to conduct his videos after his videos got canned from YouTube, and he pulled away from you real fast. Gee, I wonder why, Alex.
That's how Kennedy knows this. He was running the lawsuits to do it. Remember, he was in Congress. They'd be like, how dare you have a law firm that's suing Big Pharma? Why, you get money from that. And he goes, yeah, that's what lawyers that sue do. Yeah, that's what we do. Kennedy's one of the main lawyers that sues them, folks. That's how he found out about how his larynx got paralyzed, was from a vaccine he took. He's reading the literature and like, oh my God, they knew this. For those of you who understand that aren't totally in the books on this, you hear us talk to confidence, you're like, what do these people know? Well, this is what I do, okay? So this is a big deal. The rats are leaving the sinking ship, period. Follow me on the next Real Alex Show. This is huge news. God bless America.
Well, the thing is, Alex, that there are millions of people, look at this idiot, in the United States that know how to read data that just aren't speaking up. But many are, and they're being shushed. And I think what pisses me off the most is when some of these people try to make money off of selling their zinc or some shit, or their hydroxychloroquine or their quercetin. I was just in the health food store today, actually. I take a vitamin A supplement that is so good, and I know I'm not selling it, but I take one from my co-op, and it's so good. And wow, so I stopped taking it a few weeks ago. I ran out of it about a month ago, and then I tried to buy it, and I this specific brand is what I wanted, and they ran out. And it's very good at fighting infection, along with D. And I forgot my glasses the last few times I was at the store. And it was just hidden on this shelf, and there were only 2 bottles left. And I went, oh, wow, okay. I've been looking for it for 2 weeks, And if you take it for maybe 3 weeks, I noticed after about 2 weeks that my eyes got much greener. I'm like, holy shit, wow. Like my eyes got super, like I have green eyes, so my eyes just got, and I just went, wow. So give that a try. It's a great beauty product, if anything. It'll make your eyes sparkle. Even though I did so much caffeine today, kids. I bought some like organic Earl Grey black tea, super strong. And I'm taking ginseng, and I'm like, oh. I have to be careful because sometimes I get heart palpitations. Seriously. And let me tell you something about that. It does help your muscles. and I'm recovering. I always say I'm recovering because otherwise people are like, "Oh, what's wrong with you?" or some shit like that, which I'm up to here. And I have been a tad snarky. I've been a tad snarky. I'm going to go off on another topic. I have a video that I made last night. It's called Me. Um, I doubt that you're still watching this video because I know it got long and tedious, but it is about my accident and other various things associated with it. And I want to post it. I listed all my injuries, which were a lot. Um, God. I'm hesitant to post it because I have been told by my attorney anything I post he has to review, talking about that. I might put it up for like 2 hours in the middle of the night. I'm serious because I I have to be up by about 10 to 7, but I have a feeling I'm probably only going to sleep about 2 hours. I'm just very stressed out about some things. I have to just make a phone call. I can like go lay back down after, but I just have to be up. Maybe 6:45. I know. I have no reason to be up at that time. It's too noisy around this joint anyway. Um, um, hmm. Okay. Uh, I think we'll close it out. I just was going to talk. Look at this.
All right, as most of
You know what? I'm going to go ahead and tell you, unless you're filming like a snowstorm or a flood or a storm, what the fuck are you doing a video in your car for in the middle of a parking garage? Do you know how dumb I am? Here's the fucking True Social post right here. I'm sorry, Alex. I don't know where, why, or who has asked you to put that out in your car at a parking garage on a Sunday. But the reason why I'm going to Alex now is because he's so full of shit. So now I go to Alex not to hear the truth, but to know what bullshit is being spun out of the fucking White House and what not to believe. I love you.